Barr is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and thank you, Undersecretary Nelson. Good to see you again. Appreciate you coming to my district in August to hear from my constituents, especially small businesses and financial institutions, state and local law enforcement, about how the beneficial ownership reporting requirement updates will impact their operations. I was pleased to see, following this meeting in Lexington, Kentucky, that FinCEN released its small entity compliance guide, as we heard from many stakeholders, that the compliance standards for this rulemaking will be especially onerous on small institutions. Director Gecki, since the release of this compliance guide, what actions has FinCEN taken to properly educate small businesses on these requirements?
Thank you, Representative Barr, for that question. We've taken a number of steps beyond the small entity compliance guide, which we have translated into 11 different languages. We have also expanded into social media in order to get the word out about it. We have partnered with organizations, federal and national. We partnered with professional organizations. We are working to, for new companies being created, meet them at the point of creation. So we've worked with the IRS to ensure that they have information. We've opened up new areas, new for FinCEN, areas to reach out to FinCEN and ask questions, including first ever use of a chatbot.
Well, just reclaiming my time, and you all are taking steps, and I appreciate that, and the fact that the Undersecretary came to my district shows a responsiveness to all of these concerns. But I do share Chairman McHenry's concerns that this is a lot for these small businesses. Undersecretary Nelson, will Treasury allow small businesses who cannot report their beneficial ownership information electronically to FinCEN, and for very good reasons? For example, my Amish constituents, who do not have access to technology, to file paper registrations with Treasury.
I know we really appreciated that feedback, and I know that Andrea and her colleagues at FinCEN are working through a solution to meet that need, and we totally appreciate that we're going to have to develop something to address that concern.
Thank you for that as well, and again, I appreciate you coming to my district to talk about this. Let me switch gears to Russia and our sanctions strategy, and I appreciate your testimony, Undersecretary Nelson. But look, here's the thing. The administration and the Senate has now passed this huge supplemental over to the House, $60 billion in security assistance to Russia. There's a lot of Republicans on this side of the aisle who want to support the assistance package, but here's the problem. The problem that many of us have is not that we don't want to support the Ukrainian resistance and provide the assistance. The problem is that it is perplexing to all of us why this administration's strategy with respect to defending Ukraine and their sovereignty is working at completely cross purposes with the administration's obsession with climate. The administration banned liquid natural gas exports just a couple of weeks ago. And then Treasury, inexplicably, is pursuing an oil price cap strategy that, despite your testimony, sir, is not working. It's not working because it's unenforceable, and it's not working because Russian crude is trading above the cap. And the Center for Strategic International Studies has produced a study on this. A think tank called the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air shared a report at the end of 2023 that said, with widespread circumvention, gaping loopholes, and the ongoing fuel business, means that Moscow is still earning billions from its flagship exports that it can use to prolong the war. The fact that Treasury has issued 8 general licenses on the sanctions on Russian banks that allow Russia to process these energy-related transactions, here's the bottom line, is that the administration's climate strategy is compromising our national security because we can't export energy to our NATO partners and allies. We are giving huge sanctions relief to Russia's war machine, allowing Russia to export its energy instead of sanctioning Russian energy. The price cap is not working. So my point is this: why is the Biden administration greenlighting billions of dollars that fund Moscow's war in Ukraine, even as you ask Congress to provide supplemental budget funding for Ukraine?
So I would respectfully disagree in terms of the working of the price cap. I think we are actually seeing at the beginning of the implementation of the price cap, Russia's revenues from oil sales was significantly reduced by 30%. To your point, they, of course, sought to circumvent our price cap. So in response, we have started to do a number of enforcement actions working with our price cap coalition. And, we think
And
that is
my
the
time
way
has
to
expired,
preserve
and I know about what you're doing. The problem is oil and gas revenues to Russia have more than doubled, and Russia oil and gas revenues exceed $17 billion a month. We're not cutting off the funding for Russia. When you ask us for money to support the
gentleman's
Ukrainian
time's up.
assistance, we need to shut down the financing to Moscow, and I yield.